So, how much cash did they take from you? Because I know they destroyed all your tapes. They took cars. They took
Hmm.
everything.
They didn't take any actual cash, but everything I had in the bank they kept. So let's
Okay.
say it was over a $500,000 in the bank.
And did they ever get that back?
Nah, I didn't give none of it back. They
Did you fight
said
for it
that
back?
no, I didn't because I felt like it was a loss. My lawyers advised me that it's a wrap. I mean, they never technically gave me a fine. Now they have those fines where they say like $250,000 or whatever. They didn't fine me, but they said that they would keep that in conjunction. And then the way they basically so the law they got me on was this law called the True Name Law, where they say if you put out a physical CD, you have to have an actual address on the back of it. And mixtapes don't even really have backs. You know what I'm saying? Them shits is, they were like black cases in the
Yeah.
back. So that was the law that they were able to actually say that I did something wrong. And then when it came down to my bank account, they were basically it was like, well, they couldn't tell which money was the good money and which money was the bad money per se. So we're just gonna keep all of it. So some
It,
sneaky
and
bastards,
they
man.
and they never returned any the Bentleys or the cars. None of that.
No, I never got my car back. I had to buy a new one. Yeah. Yeah, it's a motherfucker. They returned some of the hard drives. They gave me some of the hard
Okay.
drives with my music back, but a lot of them was fucked up. So a lot of music we had to recreate that I was working on.
So realistically, you had to start over from square one.
I wouldn't say square one, but I definitely got kicked down a couple notches as far as work base of where I was on my album. So we had to kind of go back in on some things and redo some things. But it also
Okay.
worked out because the Outcast record that I had on my first album, that didn't exist till after the raid. And the whole motivation behind that record was literally like how I was feeling at the time. Like, yo, nothing's gonna stop us. We can't be stopped. And that's how that record came about. So, in a lot of ways, I'm one that lives with my cup uh half full all the time. And there's I just feel like there's gifts out of every curse.
Right, for sure. So, how do you feel like this event changed, the culture of hip hop?
Oh man, it was the day the game changed. I mean, I feel like the mixtape game as it was never the same after that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they literally used me as a martyr. I think that it was a precursor was of what was to come. I feel like that situation ushered in the blog era of music, and what mixtapes and mixtape DJs were to the game. The blogs then became, and that was the new outlet or new platforms for people to get music. You know what I'm saying? People would go to the blogs and whatever the hottest blog was at the time, and you would either get a new record or you would get a new project, what have you. And then and then from that, then it ushered in a new wave of our our rap superstars of today who started to make mixtapes, you know what I'm saying? Whether it was Drake or Wiz or Cole or Kendrick or Tyga, like, that whole generation pretty much came and like built upon what we had already did from there. And then, when we look at like, mixtapes literally became bigger business than they ever were. Like, when Dat Piff and Live Mixtapes was doing their thing, like, they was cutting real checks, like real checks. You know what I'm saying? So I can only imagine the type of money they was seeing because they was cutting me real checks. They was cutting artists real checks, to have their um, projects live in that frame. And then from there, then Drake went and changed the game when he went and did his mixtape with Apple Music, and then Apple Music became the new platform for dropping quote unquote mixtapes. And then everything changed, when streaming platforms came along, and you can no longer tell the difference between what's an album, an EP, a mixtape, what have you. It's just a name. So, you know, like with that being said, I think that, and when we look at things like Rap Caviar, which is in a sense, the the importance of what that is to an artist or getting on that playlist is similar to the dominance of what Gangsta Grills was. Or, shout to my man Cole Bennett. I use this as an example too. Like, or even getting on Say Cheese, shout to you. Like, the platforms that you guys have created are similar to what it meant at a time to get a Gangsta Grills and to be on one. So I think that the whole the mixtape raid and how things played out, and then just how the game changed after that. It really showed, like, like, even for somebody like myself, I mean, you know I could have my career could have went in a totally another direction. I could have People could have been like, damn, whatever happened to DJ Drama, or where, what did he do after that situation? And and then some of my careers even since then been somewhat behind the scenes. So I even see little comments like that, like, damn, I missed the era where Drum was all over yada yada yada. Who may not be familiar with some of the work I've done since then, but I just that just shows the importance of uh uh of reinvention, of being able to change with the times and not getting stuck in a certain format. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was what it was. And, I'm blessed to have the type of mind frame, outlook that I am. Like, things change, and, it's a blessing. And look at where we are, 13, 14 years later.
No, that's real. So were you and Cannon ever looking at each other like, damn, like, why did we get arrested? Why didn't no other DJs really get arrested and shit like that? Like, was there ever a time when y'all were just looking around like, damn, why us? Like, why were we the target?
Um, in a sense, I mean, I just felt like I said, like, it was crazy to me because I was so embedded into the culture, and, like, I was so, like, in cahoots with the labels and artists, and, like, of all people, like, I think it shocked the game probably more than it might have shocked me. Like, yo, they can get Drum. Like, nigga, Drum's not out here doing, like, he's not out here taking dats or putting out songs that nobody like. I'm literally working directly with artists. I'm getting checks directly from labels. Like, damn, if they can come get Drum, they can. None of us are safe, and I think that's why a lot of people kind of chilled for a while because of that fear. And more than anything, I don't think I looked at it like, damn, why me? But I remember, and then, I felt like a silence over the industry through the buildings. It wasn't a lot of people that was like, hold on, like, I just cut him a check. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just paid him to do a Gangster Grills. Like, y'all can't lock him up. So there was a somewhat of a silence, and I just think it came it came out of the unwritten law, or this confusion of the fine line of the promotional side of mixtapes, like legal departments, like, what things are sanctioned and how things are kind of moving. So I feel like if people would have came to my aid per se, it may have, for them, they looked at it like it might have opened up a whole nother can of worms when it came to, all right, now we got to explain, how did so and so get this music, or why was it able to go this way if this person is, this T wasn't crossed and this I wasn't dotted per se. So, but then at the same time, I was like, shit, it's my fight to have, and I'm a fight it the best way I know. What I mean, like, guns blazing. So, it got interesting, and, even through that, me and Cannon kind of, we fell out for a little bit of time. Like, we went through a short period of a year or two where our relationship deteriorated because of the raid, and because of, we allowed other things to come into play and everything. And so yeah, it was a shocking situation, because after that happened, it was like, damn, here's my best friend who literally, we used to split $150 to do campus parties, and, we made it in the game, and now I'm watching the same game kind of tear us apart. Like, damn, it's one of them stories they tell you about. Like, who would have ever thunk it? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely, even in our interminglings, it affected us.